Hello everyone, welcome back to part 3 of my Mega Man X playthrough, and this is a long one, folks. Normally my Mega Man X one's parts are typically well over 20 minutes, but this one has some fun to it. It's got some backtracking, got some extra bosses, it's got the good stuff. But we are facing off for our last 3 Mavericks plus some extras, and first we got Neon Tiger, and if you've been living under a rock with this song, but this song is, sounds very much like My Michelle by Guns N' Roses. Why? I don't know, but as we know from Mega Man X5, yeah, no, that's about right. Neon's Tiger stage, honestly, it's probably got the easiest upgrades to pick up, so if you wanted to take on this one first just for upgrade reasons, it wouldn't be a bad option. Neon Tiger's not the hardest boss in the world either. You just have to be quick. Honestly, this is not a bad option, level or boss-wise, to go first. And then maybe it might even make your backtracking less compared to what I'm going to have to do. So this is definitely an option. I've never tried it, but maybe I will one day for going first. But this is what this level is. It's honestly a pretty straightforward, easy level. And you have to have the Tornado Fang here, because this is where the arm upgrade is, so maybe it won't stop your backtracking. Here is the arm upgrade. The arm upgrade in X2, if you remember, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Thought it was awesome, and was all about that life. This one kinda fucked it up. And, so yeah, it's just not as good, in my opinion. So you do get the double shot, sort of, but if you shoot them together, it does this. That's not great. And otherwise, it's fine. It's the same old stuff. But yeah, it's definitely weaker than X2s and even X1s. I'm just not as big of a fan of it. This mini-boss here, just hit its head. Watch out for those spike balls that are bouncing around everywhere. This honestly, I did not pay attention to it, clearly. It's not that bad, just take your pot shots to him. You hope he goes vertical, goes up and down or down and up, versus doing that weird like hump thing that he does from every now and then, because it's a little bit harder to hit him there. But if he keeps doing this mini boss not bad. Honestly, but this mini boss isn't going to be hard anyway. But it just might take you a little bit quicker if he gives you a decent pattern, which he did for the most part here, honestly, if I'm being honest. I can't say a whole lot here. In the beginning, it was a little rough. My test playthrough, he gave me some not so great patterns that just really prolonged the fight unnecessarily. But he goes down. I don't know his weaknesses, because honestly, I never really bother with too much with weaknesses on mini bosses typically. Typically, not always. But unless it's wireframes. But that's much later on in this part. But yeah, so the rest of this level is pretty straightforward. Over to the left there, you kind of saw is the ride armor machine. Again, we can't do that until we get the Chimera armor, despite having one or two different ones already available to us. They really fucked that up, and it's annoying. So there, I was making sure. I always get confused with where the heart tank is in this level. I think it's always right there. I always want to assume it's right there. It's actually a little bit later. It's like right before the boss door. Or maybe not. Oh, that's not the boss door. See, even here, you're seeing me go like, oh, is it here? It's like, no, it's not here. So we go into the Byte boss room again. We've already defeated Byte, so we know we ain't gonna get either one of them now. Or, I'm sorry, I haven't. I'm a step ahead of myself. This is Byte. Byte is a bitch. He is hard. He hits stupidly hard. A lot quicker than you think he would be. He doesn't move around a lot, but his arms and stuff hit hard. That thing he just did right there, that will pull you to the wall. And get used to trying to work with that, because that will be your key to not getting your ass whooped like I'm getting right here. Look how much damage he's doing. Bring sub-tanks like I didn't do. But also use Tornado Fang. He's also weak to Ray Splasher, but I don't have that because I'm in that level. And he is super weak to the Tornado Fang. Use that as you can see, I'm getting used to the magnet here, and I am just absolutely wrecking him right now. So much so that it made the fight pretty trivial, honestly. But since I defeated him with his weakness, he actually is destroyed. So, which is kind of crazy. But we left Bit alive, so we'll still see the same boss we would even if we left both alive, or if we just killed Bit and not Byte. But I will show off in a bonus video what happens if you kill both of them with their weakness. In Doppler 1, you get a different boss, and fuck that boss. But that's for another day and another time. But with his weakness, Byte goes down pretty easily. And what was nice is one Tornado Fang hits him like 2 or 3 times. I don't know why that random audio thing happened, but it is. The only time it's done it so far, but I don't know if these spikes one hit kill you, but I'm going to assume they did. I didn't test it, because why would I? Just jump over them. Not hard to jump over these guys. You could kill them if you want, like I'm kind of doing. It doesn't really matter. 2 ways to get the heart tank. You can do this guy if you don't have the full upgrades, but if you do, it's easy. And that is the heart tank. And now we head on the Neon Tiger. This first fight against him, because I died, was an absolutely terrible attempt. Like, horrible. Like, this is pretty shameful. First off, I screw up there. I get hit by the Ray Splasher, which isn't the worst thing to get hit by because it only does 1 damage. But man, so far everything's going pretty smooth. I'm doing it the way you're supposed to. Then he gives me a little bit of a weird pattern there, and from here I don't know what happened. I struggled getting a rhythm against him. He's throwing some patterns that I really wasn't comfortable with, and I just get, and not having a lot of health, and right there I get wrecked. But time for round 2. If you're wondering why I got full ammo, it's because I had the game over there, so I had to come back. And this goes a lot smoother. You're going to see that now. You don't want to get caught up on that wall. He will come after you. Honestly, staying on the ground is probably your best bet, unless you need to. Just be careful. That slash hurts bad, so you don't want to get hit by the slash. Other than that, this second go around here, a lot smoother, a lot easier. Honestly, he's not that bad. Even with a buster, he's really not that bad. I made it look way harder than it needed to be in that first fight. And with spinning blades, it's pretty trivial. Boom, dead. Only got hit 1 time there. Not sure why I couldn't do anything better than that the first time around. But hey, you know what? It is what it is, as they say. But that was Neon Tiger. We get the Ray Splasher, and if you saw it from his tail, it's just as erratic. It's not it's not a overly strong weapon. Its charged up weapon absolutely sucks, and it's good against our next Maverick, and it's good against our first Doppler boss, the official one we're getting in this playthrough, not the secondary one. But man, it's not a good weapon. But first, it's time to do a little backtracking. We go to a Tunnel Rhino stage, and you use up a charged up Triad Thunder to get this, and then you come over here and do the same thing. A charge up Triad Thunder, and bingo bango bongo, and you can come up and get the next upgrade, which will be the helmet upgrade. And for the first 3 games, it's easily the best one so far. It gives you a map at the beginning of each level. It's going to show it here. You can't do it anywhere you want, which is kind of annoying. But at the beginning of the level, when you go into a level besides the Doppler stages, it shows you where the bonuses are, or the power-ups, which is nice. But what I really like about it, especially when you have to do as much backtracking as you do sometimes in this game, is at the title select screen, it shows you what's all in a level. And every level has 3 power-ups, and shows you if you've gotten it or not. That's why this weapon's actually pretty damn... Or this helmet upgrade's pretty damn cool. But this is what it looks like. If there was upgrades to get still, it would show up as a red dot. But as you can see over on the right here, pink means you haven't gotten it, and gray means you have gotten them. Very useful. There's also some that are question marks. Those are going to be the pink capsules. Don't ever get the pink capsules. They are additional capsule upgrades to your armor, but you're only allowed to have one, and it's not transferable. You can't use a different one. You're stuck with that one. Don't get any of them. Trust me on that one. Just a little bit ago, you saw what the map actually looked like with stuff on it. We come back to Blizzard Buffalo stage, though. If you have the riot armor, I'd recommend using the riot armor here, because it goes a lot quicker. Otherwise, you could just use the tornado thing to break these ice blocks pretty damn easily. No harm, no foul here. And yeah, you destroy them. I don't know why I'm destroying that one on the left. I just felt like it, I guess. I didn't need to do this, but I guess I just felt like it. But there is another heart tank. But now back to our regularly scheduled Mavericks, as we go into Gravity Beetle, who is weak to the Ray Splasher, and oh boy is he weak to it. He is ultra weak to it. By the way, if you hear some meowing, that is my cat who wants to play at 10:45 at night. Yes, I am still awake because it is AFC Wildcard Playoff Day and my Jaguars suck and I can't get back to sleep. Hey, it is what it is. 5 turnovers in the first half. Lovely. But anyway, Gravity Beetle. The stage, not bad music. I don't know. It's not a bad level. If you come to this... Or, no, that's Blast Hornet. Never mind. Kind of annoying level. First of all, you can't get this heart tank till you beat Blast Hornet, because the boxes will stay there. I don't know why that's a thing. Because the weapon you get from Gravity Beetle is the weakness to Blast Hornet. So they want you to beat Blast Hornet first or before to break these blocks. Yeah, see, again, you're gonna have to backtrack in this game. If you're not a fan of that, you're gonna get annoyed by this game. I don't mind it always, but I think this game does it a wee bit too much, honestly. But it is what it is. You know going into it what's going to be now, so. Not fan backtracking, I don't recommend this game. You don't mind? I don't hate this game. It can be super hard, but as you get more upgrades and stuff, it becomes actually easier. And I think I mentioned this in part 1. As to one thing I'll give this game, if that was the point, and, show X's capabilities and potential, and you want to show that potential in the game, this, of the first 3, and maybe of any of them, did it the best, because you start off fairly weak, and by the time you get all your upgrades and everything, Mega Man X is pretty damn strong, especially if you get the best armor, which we'll talk about later. It honestly makes sense. If that was the route they were going, and I don't know if it was, there is some validity to that, and it's some understanding to that. Because the game does get easier as you go, as you get the upgrades. Which is the point of the upgrades, So make of it as you will, I'm going to defend it a little bit when need be. This is a lot of people's, I don't want to say least favorite X game, but it's up there. I think a lot of people hate X6, especially X7 more. Myself included on that with X7. I don't hate X6 as much, but X7's not a game I'm going to play on here at all, most likely. It's just not a game that I want to play. It's boring. Anyway, here, we're making our way through Gravity Beetle stage pretty easily. That's another thing I'll say about this, about Mega Man X3 compared to the first 2. It's kind of long. Like, all the levels are fairly long. They seem, and I could be wrong here, they seem longer than X and X2. And that's not a bad thing necessarily, but it just, at least that's how it feels. I noticed that while I was playing. It just kind of felt like that. But now we are already at the boss, so as I say that, this level didn't take too long, but it does feel a little longer. Again, Gravity Beetle weak to the Ray Splasher, and he is pathetically easy with it. This is all that's gonna happen. This is all that's gonna happen. Even he goes into that rainbow mode, which Tom Ryle did, and became invincible. Gravity Beetle isn't invincible still. You could still hit him with the Ray Splasher. So I don't really know what Gravity Beetle does as an attack. He might be the hardest boss ever. I don't know. I've never seen it. I actually don't know. I actually don't know how hard he is because I've always... The other bosses, some of the other bosses that I fought before, or like Volt Catfish is notorious for being hard without his weakness. I don't know anything about Gravity Beetle. He's pretty damn easy. Like, stupidly easy. But, anywho... And with this, you get the Gravity Well. Another pretty not-so-great weapon. It might not be bad for killing enemies. I never really used it. It's great for our final Maverick when we get there. But we have some business to take care of first. And you might have mentioned... I mentioned in the last part that you need to make sure you fight Vile before you finish the last Maverick. You can go back to the other 3 stages, even if you defeat the bosses. By the way, I stupidly didn't get the upgrades after Vile, but whatever. I'll come back after in the next video, I'm sure. But you need to beat Vile if you want the ultimate weapon of this game, if you will. So we're gonna head down, and we're gonna do that in this playthrough. We're gonna beat Vile, and just like Bit and Byte, you can defeat him but not kill him, or you can kill him with a weakness. He has 2 of them, and he will be dead for the rest of the game. By the way, this music fucking rocks. It's awesome for Vile, too. Like, it makes sense. It's perfect. It's a little repetitive because it's really quick, but I like this music. This elevator, if you had not defeated Volt Catfish, would not be on. It's one of those stage things. I haven't really mentioned that too much, but there is stage dynamics just like X1. They're somewhat subtle, not really as transparent, or not really as meaningful, with the exception being those red guys that shoot the homing missiles. They turn green, and they actually become a lot easier, but that's about the biggest change. And Gravity Beetles, if you beat Blast Hornet, you can actually get the heart upgrade. But this is Vile! He's in a mech, because of course he is. Honestly, this is not a hard fight. Either his first form or his second form, or second phase, if you will, because he doesn't really change form. He just loses his glass armor. The one thing I want to tell you, it's hard to do for obvious reasons, and you see I'm doing it, I'm just jumping over and pot shot it. But he actually will not he will not tackle you into the wall. In the different fight, he will, but I'll talk about that in the bonus video. And if you are comfortable and you can do it properly, you can actually just jump over that arm and take pot shots at him over and over and over. I don't do that because I just don't trust myself. I'm not that good. So I just jump over him, hit him. He ain't too bad. I think this is weak to Tornado Fang. I'm unsure on that. But, boom. First form down. And now we get to the second form, and he's weak against Ray Splasher or Spinning Blade. Spinning Blade is the way to go, for sure. A lot easier. And this is really all he does. He shoots this flame that goes on the ground. That hurts for some big damage. And then he tries shooting you with these bullets. That don't hurt as bad. If you contact him, that'll do some damage too, because it's X3. But this is all this fight is, folks. There's nothing too major about it. Just keep your wits about you. Honestly, it's a pretty easy battle, and I would recommend killing him, unless you want to have a hell of a time later on. He's not bad. If you don't kill him, you actually face him again, and he has a stronger mech, and his attacks in the second phase will be faster, and he has as 1 or 2. He is a bit harder in that, and I'll show that off again in the extra video. But right now, if you kill him with weakness, he is dead. Gone. Goodbye. Sayonara. And he will haunt you to the day you die. And we won't see him again for 5 more games. But he has a trick up his sleeve because this underground area is going to explode. You have 50 seconds, I believe, once you leave this screen to get the hell out of here. It's plenty of time. Keep your wits about you. It's really not that hard. Just you know, avoid some of these bad guys if you can. Get the life if you need it. Use spinning blades on these guys because it goes down very easily if you do that. I ride the elevator up. Again, you don't have to do this. But, yeah, you have plenty of time, so don't overthink this. I don't think you want to fall in these first 2 pits. I think those are bottomless pits. The third one I don't actually believe is bottomless. But you still don't want to fall in there. But you come into another capsule, and then you're done. And then you start back at the stage you were on. I should have went and got the upgrades while I was in there, and I didn't for whatever reason. But now back to our regularly scheduled Maverick kicking. Our final Maverick, Blast Hornet. I'm going to say right now, you're going to hear the original music, the Super Nintendo music, and then I'm going to overlap and shut up for a bit and let you listen to the PS1 version. The only tune in the PS1 version that I like substantially better than the Super Nintendo, and the Super Nintendo ain't bad either. I thoroughly enjoy this, the PS1 soundtrack. It's not going to go on the other stage, but it's going to go for a little while, so enjoy the PS1 version. Here is the PS1 Blast Hornet theme. And that was the PS1 theme. It's the only one that's like substantially different. The other ones sound virtually the same, but with that updated music, which doesn't sound as good. But that one has a little bit of uniqueness to it. And man, it is so good. Mega Man Extreme 2 for the Game Boy Color also uses the PS1 theme. And in the Game Boy Color, that sounds pretty good too, honestly. But I like that just slightly better. This wireframe boss, again, wireframe, use Acid Burst. It goes down really easily. You shouldn't have too much trouble with this one. Just pay attention to his patterns, use Acid Burst, and he goes down super easily. There was a mini-boss actually in this level. If you come this early, and I don't know exactly what triggers it, but if you come this early before you beat some kind of boss, there's actually a mini-boss. I think maybe Gravity Beetles, I'm guessing. It's earlier in the stage. It's just like loading boxes onto a ship. It's the weirdest mini-boss, if you call it a boss. And finally, come down here, folks. Use your Tornado Fang to break this block. Get in this hole, and you finally get the Chimera Armor, which means you can finally use all of your freaking ride armors. All the ones you've already gotten. But you have to get this one first for some stupid reason. Missed potential. This Chimera Armor just you know, gives you the fist. There's one that has spikes on it. That's pretty cool. There's one that shoots missiles, and the frog shoots missiles and does well underwater, which is really its only purpose. I don't really show those off as much, but come up here for another heart tank. Man, that looks familiar, doesn't it? Neon Tiger. And you also lose your radar, but you can't bring it anyway. This is the Byte room, I believe, so we won't have anything in here because we already destroyed Byte. And Bit was defeated way earlier. But yeah, like I said, with the music though, although I like the PS1 substantially better, I actually do enjoy the Super Nintendo version too. But man, that PS1 version's really, really good. They're both good for different reasons too. Like they're very different from each other. It's weird because if you listen to the PS1 soundtrack versus the SNES soundtrack, the songs are obviously very similar. They just use different instruments, except this stage. It is weird. But now we are heading to Blast Hornet. Blast Hornet, Buster only, is not easy. He hits like a truck. He's hard. Gravity Well, just like most Mavericks in this game, easy. Gravity Well really makes him injured. So I get kind of cocky here. So you want to go up right when you shoot the Gravity Well, go right to it so it comes right back to you. Otherwise, it's going to take a bit. But if you use it charged up, it actually does 2 more points of damage than if you just use the regular one. So you see me do that a lot. Because he falls, takes 6 damage. I think with the regular Gravity Well, it ends up doing 4 damage. You could just use the regular Gravity Well. You don't have to do this. I actually take a hit here because I'm kind of in a bad way. I'm like, oh shit. That's unfortunate. And I take a hit. But honestly, with the Gravity Well, Blast Hornet, it's pretty damn easy. Like most Mavericks in this game with their weakness. He ain't nothing. But that is all 8 Mavericks defeated, though, folks, which means we are going to get ready to go in the top stages. Before we do that, we're going to have a ton of backtracking to show off in the next video. But first, you get the Parasitic Bomb. It's okay. Like a lot of weapons, the utility on these weapons aren't great. Spinning Blade has good utility despite its weird range, but most others don't. But yeah, so next part we'll be finishing up our backtrack, get the rest of the upgrades, and heading into Doppler stages. We're getting close to the nitty-gritty, folks. So join me then. Until next time, deuces.